Hi everyone, happy Friday. Hope you're having a great week. Well, I just wanted to stop for a few minutes and share my thoughts on the Austin housing market, and more importantly, why I still believe, despite it being a seller's market, and it is, that there's still a number of reasons why it's a great a time for buyers to get in this market. There's still a number of great reasons why buyers should think about buying property this year. The first reason is demographics. There was a report that came out earlier this week. It was posted in the Austin Business Journal, a number of other news sites. I posted a link to the Austin Business Journal article this week. Essentially, demographers show that in 2016, on average, 159 people moved to the Austin area every single day. So if you don't want to pull out a calculator, I'll do the math for you. That's over 58,000 people moved to Austin and the Austin region last year. To put that in better context, essentially, I looked at a number of our suburbs. How many people live in Cedar Park and Leander and Pflugerville? Well, Pflugerville in 2014 had about 54,000 people. Let's assume they've added a few thousand. So essentially, a Pflugerville of people moved to the Austin area in 1 year. And if we continue those trends, that means another entire Pflugerville of people will move to Austin this year and maybe next year. So if you think about that, in 1 year, 58,000 more people have moved to our area and are competing for the home that you're interested in. And as a buyer, if that trend continues, that means if you don't buy property this year, potentially 58 more thousand people will be vying for that piece of property, and 116,000 people will vie for it in 2 years. So if those demographics continue and that trend continues, then obviously you might want to buy this year versus the years ahead. And I would always ask the question, 5 years from now, do you think it's a better idea to have bought property now or wait until then? So that's one trend that I think shows it might be a better opportunity to continue to buy in the present than wait for something to happen in the future. The second thing that I think you want to keep an eye on, and I've talked about this before, is interest rates. The Federal Reserve earlier this month raised the Fed funds rate. They've talked about raising it again at least 2 times this year. Essentially what that means is this is how banks charge interest to each other when they're borrowing funds. And the way they pass that on to consumers is it raises the price over time of the products that they sell to consumers. Auto loans, credit cards, and of course, mortgages. So if you are thinking, we've had great rates, historically low rates over the past several years. If you're thinking somehow those might return and rates might go lower, all I can say is all reports are showing that the Federal Reserve is still confident and interested in raising those rates again, maybe a few times this year and again into the future. And again, the trend shows we're still in historically good low rates, well below historical averages. So ask yourself, in 5 years, in 2 years, do I think interest rates will be higher then? Or is it a better deal to get those interest rates now? I think the trend is showing we can expect interest rates with everything that we've seen in the news to potentially rise over the next couple years. And finally, the third reason why I think it's a great buyer's market, ironically, is because it's a seller's market. Am I confused? Why would I say something like that? Well, obviously it's a seller's market. Essentially what that means is we have a ton of demand, buyers, but we have a lack of supply, homeowners that are selling their homes or new build homes for all these buyers to move into. But what that also means is that we are in a great economy. Generally, you have sellers markets when the economy is roaring, when you have people coming in for jobs, when you have a great climate for taxes, when you have incentives to buy houses. And of course, we live in Austin, Texas, and we have great weather. So we have people moving in from other parts of the country that want to take advantage of our great city. The reason that's good for buyers, again, is think about today versus 5 years from now. If we have these strong trends, if we have a strong economy, do you think something negative is going to happen to affect jobs, to change the supply, or do you think those trends will continue? And if you think those trends are going to continue in favor of Austin, in favor of jobs, in favor of our great weather, then you have to assume today housing prices are potentially lower than they will be 5 years from now. I always want you to make a housing decision based on what's best for you. Are you financially capable of buying a house right now? Is this a house that you want to live in for a long time? And if so, it's always a good time to get into the market. Another reason why sometimes it's a good idea to buy in a seller's market is you yourself may be in a better financial position to buy a house now than if the economy goes bad, if it flips to a buyer's market, if there's more sellers trying to dump their homes and not enough buyers to buy them. You yourself may be in financial straits. You may have lost a job, or you may be trying to save your money to wait for the economy to turn around. So if you are in a good financial position, that would make sense that now would be a better time to buy. I'd love to know what you think. Share your comments with me on Facebook. I'd love to hear from you. You can give me a call or email me, and would love the chance to talk with you. Again, if you're looking to buy or make a move this year, I'd love the chance to meet with you so we can set a winning strategy to find your next property.